Hey everybody, hope you're doing good out there. So, today's big question is, can you turn a name into a plot line? And the answer is kind of yes, but the equation isn't exactly filled out all the way. The real answer is imagination plus names equals plot. So, let me tell you what I'm talking about. When you're creating your map, it's a good idea to use names that inspire stories. So that way, not only the people that are looking at it start asking questions, but you also start asking yourself questions about what kind of society is this going to be? What does it look like? Why is it the way that it is? And sometimes just filling out a name can be really helpful to solve all those questions. So here we have the Halfling Pact. Now, when I created this name, I had no idea what I was going to do with this territory at all. But the fact that it's the Halfling Pact, I mean, not only does it kind of sound cool, in my opinion, but also it's like, well, why did they form a pack? And then I start answering those questions, and then I'm creating plot lines. So to answer that question, I came up with the fact that the Halfling Pact exists because they are surrounded by very powerful nations. And these halflings decided that they needed to stick together if they were going to survive. The United Trade Cities, probably pretty big. Even though it's a small territory, they control the Central Sea. So they probably got a lot of money. These guys up here, probably very warlike, sort of Latin Empire-esque, go and conquer the world type thing. So the halflings had to organize themselves in a way that they could mutually defend themselves against bigger, more powerful nations. And that's why they created the pact. So how does that make a plotline for your player characters? Well, say one of your player characters is actually a halfling from the pact, and say that they really don't like the Histati Empire because of this. And then all of a sudden, they gotta go into the Histati Empire to like maybe rescue someone or something like that. All of a sudden, your player character has a lot of new background story that they otherwise would not have had. And it's all just because you're making a map. So here's another example of how we can use names to drive plot. Here we have the Cult of Torgool. I think if anybody sees this map, people are immediately going to be like, wait, how does a cult have a nation? You're asking some good questions there. Questions that are eventually going to inform your plot as soon as you can figure out what the answer to that question is. So I'm thinking maybe in the comments section, you answer this question for me. Maybe you guys want to build the Cult of Torgool. Tell me about it. Why is it the way that it is? All right. Here's one more example. Here we have the Free Colonies of New Hope. I don't know about you guys, but I think that can tell a story pretty easily. Obviously, at one point they were colonies and they broke away from whatever place that they were attached to. And now they have this land next to the Broken Lands. And as you guys can see, we have Grey Geyser in there. And I'm thinking that these guys broke away, but now they have a new enemy. And that new enemy comes from Grey Geyser, which I think is probably going to be like maybe a lich or a necromancer or something like that. And maybe the people who originally like had all of the lands of the Free Colonies of New Hope, maybe those original people were actually wiped out by the people at Grey Geyser. And maybe those ancient people are now zombies walking around the geyser fields. And now the Free Colonies of New Hope and then these dwarves over here in Borazal have to help defend the whole area. So you see these names are slowly kind of drawing out questions that draw out your plot lines. So I highly suggest to make good names and use them, ask yourself questions and use them to create plot lines. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this little follow-up to my last video about names. If you want to check this map out more in detail, I'm going to be posting it on Reddit probably within the next like 24 hours or so. So you can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description to my Reddit so you can scroll down there. You can find my maps there and stuff like that. Also, I got my Patreon up. So if you want to buy some of my maps, that'd be awesome. But if not, I get it. I get it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you all have a very good day, and we'll hang out soon. Peace.